I greet you in the name of the triune God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The year 2020 was a year that a lot of folks may want to forget. We were surrounded by images and words of death and destruction. A lot of us lost our jobs, and some of us even lost hope. But I have some good news for you. You get to determine 2021 for yourself. Now, you don't get to determine events in the global picture, and you don't get to determine the economy, but you get to determine how you respond. You get to determine how you respond to the word. There's some things in 2020 that you may want to leave behind. And there's some lessons that you have learned to make 2021 even better, a more powerful year for yourself. Turn your attention to the Gospel of John. Now, we know that the Gospel of John is a little bit different. So we know there's the Old Testament and then there's the New Testament. And at the beginning of the New Testament are the Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The book of Matthew, Mark, and Luke are referred to as the Synoptic Gospels. They have a lot of the same material. They are given the same view. Synoptic, one vision. John is different, though. John is often referred to in theological circles as the fourth gospel. John has a high theology, right? There's no mangers. There's no little baby Jesus. There's no immaculate conception. In the Gospel of John, we are taken to the beginning, the real beginning, the beginning of creation. In the beginning was the what? Word. And the Word was with who? God. And the Word was? God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. That is the power of John. This is Christology. This is the beginning of the story of Jesus Christ. John tells us of a God who so loved the world that he broke some of himself off and sent a part of himself into the world so that we could understand what it meant to be God. We can understand God better so we can feel connected to God, so that we may live a life and know that we have a Father in heaven that has created us. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. When Jesus came into the world, he was that light. He was that light that came into the world, a light of darkness, but he was not overwhelmed by the darkness. Some of us may feel overwhelmed by the darkness that we perceive, not just in our eyes, and not just the cloudiness in our mind, but the overwhelming sense of darkness in our hearts. If you've been watching television or talking to your friends or going to the media, you may have reason to worry. But I've come here today to let you know that that light that's shining in the world, that light of Jesus Christ, is going to shine a way for you. all things were created out of this light, and without it, nothing existed. This is the light that shines in you. John goes on to say, hey, Moses gave you the law, but Jesus, he came to teach you the way of grace. Moses gave us the law, but it wasn't as straightforward as you may think. Remember, somewhere around the 6th chapter of Exodus, Moses hadn't gotten the law yet. He was negotiating with God, like, God, I want to serve you, but I don't know if I'm strong enough. I don't know. They tell us that Moses had a speech impediment. I don't know if I start talking to Pharaoh, I might stumble over my words, and what good will I be to you then? And God looked at Moses and said, I have made you a God to Pharaoh. God told Moses, who was a man born from a man and a woman, that he has made him a God over Pharaoh. There's much talk about the law. Before Jesus, there was only the law. And the law was a treaty between God and God's people. And God's people have forgotten that part of that agreement, part of that contract, was a sense of power that we were given by God. If Moses is the God of a Pharaoh, maybe I'm the God over my thoughts. God sent his son to the world because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And he sent a little piece of light into the world to remind us that he had already given us great power. Moses, don't worry about Pharaoh. I have made you God over Pharaoh. That means that you are already God over Trump. You're going to be God over Biden and Harris because God lives inside of you. And so if I'm God over my mind and I'm God over my heart, maybe I'm God over my bills. Maybe I'm God over my body. Maybe this consciousness that I have is the manifestation of God's light coming into the world. There are folks who watch, they tell me, who watch 4, 5, 8, 10, 12 of what they call news every day. And that news goal is to frighten you, is to worry you, is to give you anxiety. You're not giving news in a neutral kind of way. I'm not talking about Fox. I'm not talking about CNN or MSNBC or even PBS. I'm talking about all of it. All of it. The vision that you hold in your mind and the remembrance of the blessings that God has given you is more important than what's going on in the macro environment. What's going on between your ears is more important than what's going on because we'll never know what's really going on. All I know is that God loved the world. And he sent a little piece of his eternal self in the form of a human being like me so that I may look at Jesus Christ and understand the God behind Jesus Christ. In the Gospel of John, he tells us that Moses gave us the law, but Jesus gave us his grace. Behind that law that Moses gave us from God was the fact that God had elevated us up already. That God has placed his light into our minds and into our souls, that we may have dominion over our world. I'm going to say some things in this moment that some people may not like. I'm going to say some things in this moment that may make you uncomfortable. Don't get mad at me. But part of what makes a person healthy and part of what makes a person sick is what goes on in our minds. These are facts. You can Google it. And part of what goes on in our minds is who we say we are and whose we say we are. A lot of folks got sick in 2020 because they accepted sickness. Oh, I'm unhealthy. Oh, I'm so bad. My brothers and sisters, I'll implore you in this moment to develop your immune system. Eat vegetables. Take vitamins. Take black seed oil. Take vitamin C. Boost up your immunity. This is a power that you have through your own actions. You are the God over your body. But before you can be the God over your body, you must be the God of your thoughts, the God over your mind, the God over your desires. Happy New Year. I just want to let you know that the light that created the entire world has come into our existence, come into our world to empower us, to remind us of the light that God has placed inside of us, to let us know that we have dominion in this world, that we are not victims in this world. 2021. You may not be able to decide all the events that happen this year, but you could decide how you will respond to it. You could decide who you are. God bless you and Happy New Year.